Hello and welcome to the 114th episode of the Sock Buddy Knit and Fit video podcast. My name is Kimberly, also known as Sock Buddy, and I am recording in not sunny Massachusetts. I am currently in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. It's overcast today. It's been beautiful the whole time I've been here. Yesterday it started getting overcast, but the rest of the days I've been here, it's just been gorgeous weather. So today it's a little bit overcast. I was going to try to podcast outside, but it's overcast and about 40, low 40s. So I decided, yeah, I'll do it inside. I'm sitting in my friend Michelle's knitting chair. And my friend Michelle, who I'm staying with, I've mentioned her a lot of time before. She's my knitting mentor, and she and her husband are both at work. So I'm taking this opportunity to chat with you guys. This episode is going to be unusual because I have very little knitting and a lot of shopping. So if you don't want to hear about a lot of shopping, come back later, a different episode. I have a tiny, tiny bit of knitting to show. I do have other things to talk about, but I'll save the trip summary for the end. And I'm also going to show all the stuff I bought at Rhinebeck and at Webb's at the end. So again, if you don't want to see that, my feelings are not hurt, feel free to turn it off at any time. But do come back later. So I am Sock Buddy on Ravelry, Plurk, Instagram, Google+, Twitter, iTunes, YouTube. And the blog is at sockbuddyknitandfit.blogspot.com. The email is sockbuddyknitandfit@gmail.com. The Etsy shop is sockbuddystudios.etsy.com, which is currently closed because I'm on this trip. And my Facebook, you can find me as Sock Buddy Studios. Don't forget that a couple of episodes ago, I reviewed a book called Cascadia, an ebook. And if you want to win that, go over to the Ravelry group and enter the contest, read all the rules. You have to be a member of the Ravelry group. And I will be closing that thread on November 15th. What are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about finished objects, works in progress, fitness, tips and tricks, book review, favorite things, Bee Leaf Half by Knit Along, charity, and then a summary of my trip to New England. So, finished objects. I do have a finished object. I finished my carrot cake socks, and this yarn was dyed by Desert Vista Dye Works, and you can see it sort of does resemble carrot cake. Delicious. And speaking of carrots, somebody wants to say hi. Hi, everybody! How you doing? How are you doing, John? Are you enjoying your trip? Yes, I am. What is your favorite part? Getting to meet such nice people. So later we'll talk about who John has been getting to meet. So are you enjoying getting to see all the sights of New England? I really been sleeping most of the time, but yeah. That's what you do at home. Yeah, so yeah, it's not much difference. All right. Are you cold? Yes, it's cold up here. I love Florida. You're a Floridian? Yes, I am. Okay, so we will see you later. Okay, I'm going to go back to sleep now. Bye! If you're a new viewer, that's John. He's the mascot of the podcast. So anyway, as I was saying, I finished my carrot cake socks, and I love them, of course. Desert Vista Dye Works is my favorite dyer. So, all right, that's my only finished object. And my one work in progress, I didn't even bring it out because I only knit like 2 or 3 rows on my Bee Leaf Half Pie shawl, and there's not really anything to show. So I'll show it to you next time. Hopefully I will have more progress on it. So that's it as far as knitting. I know, not very much. I've been just doing so much touristy stuff and been driving everywhere that I haven't had as much time to knit as I really thought I would, but that's okay. I'm enjoying the trip. That's the important part. So that's finished objects. Let's talk about fitness. Every month in the Sock Buddy group, we have 2 fitness alongs. We have a fitness along and we have a fitness poster along. All the rules are in the appropriate threads on the Sock Buddy group, and I'm abbreviating this today. I did not get a chance to draw the winner for the September poster along. I will do that when I get home. I'm not even going to promise that I'll do it anytime before I get home. It's too crazy here. I barely have even turned on my laptop, so I'll do that next time. The prize for the poster along is going to be some stitch markers from Carrie at sunnyshop.etsy.com, and the prize for the fitness along You get to choose either a $5 giftable pattern on Ravelry or some bear sock yarn or fiber that I will dye for you in up to 3 colors, or you can pick something from the shop. Um, my only exercise that I've really done other than shopping is yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, it was Monday. Monday, I went on a hike with my friend Michelle. We climbed a mountain near here, and I actually have a brochure her husband gave me. It's called Monument Mountain, and I did pretty well. I was able to keep up with her for the most part. Here's what the trail looks like. We took this one, this longer one, because it was less steep. If you go up the one that's the dotted line, it's more steep but shorter. So we took the longer way, but it was less steep. It was still steep, don't get me wrong. But it says it's the trail that we went on is a mile and a half. And then there's so we took Indian Monument Trail, and then there's that part is sort of steep, and then you get to this other part that is more steep, and it's like climbing stairs, very steep, big stairs, and you go up to the very very top, and there's this big giant, a whole bunch of boulders and rocks and stuff, and so I took pictures of that. If you want to go see all the pictures from this trip, you can go to instagram.com/sockbunny. Even if you're not on Instagram, and you can do this even from your PC, and you can see the pictures. So I did take pictures from there. So it took us about an hour and 45 minutes to go up and back, and I did really well. You know, like I said, on the sort of steep part, but we got to the really steep part, I had to stop a few times to catch my breath because whoa! But it felt really good to be working out. So I cannot wait to get home and actually start my actual real workouts again. I thought I would have time to go running and stuff on here. I haven't had time to even do that, so that's okay. Um, let's see. I think that's all I want to say for fitness. Stash enhancement, I'm going to talk about that at the end because I'm going to show all the stuff that I've gotten on this trip. I've gone to yarn stores, I've gotten a few gifts, webs, Rhinebeck, so I'll show that all at the end. Tips and tricks. Okay. This is sad, but it's not heartbreaking, but it's sad. I learned a very valuable lesson yesterday. So we went to Webb's yesterday, and I'll talk about that again later. But we went to lunch. On the way from lunch to my car, I lost my knitting. It was a pair of socks that I had started in my own Greyhounds on the Beach colorway. They were the bobble socks, if you remember. I was on the first sock, and I had it with me, and I stuck it in my purse. I stuck it in my purse when we got up from the table in the restaurant. We walked around a corner to go to the car, and went to go get in the car, and it was gone. So I lost my flamingo bag from knitting my bag, and I lost my sock. I'm not that sad about the sock because I could dye that yarn again, but I am sad about the flamingo bag because that was my favorite travel knitting bag, and I'll probably just have to get Lois to make me another one. So the lesson that I have learned from this, and I am going to do this, is I'm going to put luggage tags on all of my knitting project bags because, I mean, my yarn and my yarn label were in there, and it has my contact information, but I don't know if the person would assume that the person who lost that sock dyed the sock. So I am not optimistic about getting it back. So lesson learned, I'm going to put luggage tags on all of my project bags. I'll do that very soon after getting home. So, or at least a note in there that says, until I can make luggage tags, at least a note that says, if found, please return to blah, and my cell phone number. Because my cell phone number wasn't in the bag. So, anyway, yes, that is very sad, but not worth crying over. So, so that's my tip and trick. Book review. I have a funny book review. My friend Michelle was looking through a bunch of her old knitting books because she was looking for a sweater pattern, and because she might have had me buy her a sweater's worth of yarn while I was at Webb's. Anyway, so she found this. This is a Vogue knitting from fall winter 1984. That's the year I graduated from high school. And if you look on the corner, Cabbage Patch Kids knits inside. Because if you remember, around 83, 84, 85 was when the Cabbage Patch craze was insane. If you're not in the United States, Cabbage Patch dolls, people were like getting in fist fights and paying thousands of dollars for these things. It's crazy. And if you will remember, back in July, I think it was, my daughter and I and her friend went to the Cabbage Patch Hospital where the Cabbage Patches are born because my daughter has a Cabbage Patch doll. Anyway, this is the reason that she showed this to me. This is a knitting, oops, this is a knitting pattern that was in the Vogue magazine. And you could knit a sweater for your daughter and her doll and an awesome hat. How funny is that? I think it's adorable. And no, I will not be knitting a sweater for Paprika. Not anytime soon, anyway. I have to show you some of the stuff in here. First, I have to show you something that you won't be surprised that I sort of actually like. Now, remember, I like the 80s. I especially love 80s music. But 80s fashion, I like the bright colors. So here we go. Look at this. This is a knitting pattern in this book. Wow. Yeah. Some of the other stuff in here that's just, I mean, it's just so typically 80s. Let me show you. Okay, so like this. Like, look at the hair. Is that 80s hair or what? Yeah. Very 80s hair and makeup. So, it was quite fun to look through this. Oh my gosh. Do you remember these big sweaters? Sweater dresses almost? Well, if you're a youngster, you don't remember, but yeah. People used to actually wear this stuff. Let's see, what else do I want to show you? Just, yeah. Okay, so this bottom sweater here, that is 80s. Look at the top one. Yeah, that 80s, right there. Even her hair and everything. Good times, memories. So anyway, I just had to show that to you guys, because it really cracked me up. So yes, that is the 1984 Vogue knitting. So Cabbage Patch, they're cool. Next we have favorite things. My favorite thing this week is getting to meet so many awesome people on this trip, and I will again talk about this later, but anybody who has come up to me and said hi or talked to me or even waved at me on this trip, thank you so much, because it has just been magnificent. So again, I'll talk about that more later. That's my favorite thing. Bee Leaf Half Pie Knit Along. We are having a knit along for the Bee Leaf Half Pie shawl pattern, which is my pattern, and it started September 1st. It ends on November 30th. You need to have it bound off, blocked, and photographed by November 30th. And you don't have to be a member of the group, the Ravelry group, to win this one. That's a very rare thing. And if you knit it with Sock Bunny Studios yarn, you get to post it twice. Yay! If you want to donate prizes, let me know. All right, and then we'll talk about charity briefly. September, October, November, I'm having a charity hat knit along. There's a homeless shelter near me in the next county over that is run by the Catholic Diocese of St. Petersburg, and I'm collecting hats, scarves, and mittens, any age, any gender, as long as it's washable yarn. You can send that to me. Send me a private message and give me I'll give you my address. So, and that is it. So that's the end of the normal portion of the show. So I'm going to be talking about my New England trip and showing the ridiculous amount of stuff that I've purchased on this trip. So if you don't want to see that, I will see you later. Don't forget to post your fitness in the workout threads. Don't forget to post your prayers in the prayer thread, all that kind of stuff. So, okay, so where I left off last week. Last week I recorded, I believe, on Wednesday. I'm pretty sure. No, I recorded on Thursday. That's what it was. So Thursday morning, Sarah had school, and then that afternoon we went to a place called Slater Mill in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And Sarah went with me, and her friend Nicole, who is a very avid knitter and crocheter, she also went. And I just thought we were going to just walk around this place and look at various things. But we actually, the price included, I think it was $12 to get in. It included a tour guide. So there were two different sections. The first section, they gave us a tour of this old house that was from that time period. And then she also demonstrated, which was really interesting, how to prepare flax for spinning. And also she showed how to spin flax, which was really cool. that looked really interesting, and now it's something that I want to try since I've seen her do it. So that was interesting. And then we actually went over to the mill. Now, the mill was a cotton mill, and it evidently was the first mill in New England. Um, and then hundreds of other mills were built along the same river afterwards, but it was the first one. And so it's been preserved, and they even started the mill for us. And then upstairs they had like a fort. I don't really know what you would call it. They had like where metalworking and woodworking would be done. So, but they showed how the mill ran, all the different machines, and it was just so interesting. The tour guide really knew what he was talking about, and he was really funny, and definitely worth what we paid to get in for sure. And Sarah, who is not an avid knitter, did not think she was going to like it, but she actually really enjoyed it. And then they took us over to another building that had a bunch of knitting machines. We got to use a cotton gin, which is the machine that takes the seeds out of the cotton and prepares it to be spun. And it just was really interesting. We got to see all different kinds of knitting machines, and some of them were working, and he would turn them on for us. And we got to see a sock knitting machine, but it wasn't working. So, but my daughter, younger daughter Rachel, was there a couple of years ago, probably 3 years ago now, for a school field trip, and it was working at that time. So it just probably needs to be repaired. So that was Thursday the 17th. And then that night I packed and all that kind of stuff. Friday morning, I left Sarah in Rhode Island, and she had class. So I had breakfast with her, and then she went to class, and then I packed my car. And it's the first time in 5 years of her being gone that I was able to leave her and not cry. So I was very proud of myself that I didn't cry that day. So go me, go mom. Um, I don't know if she cried, but I didn't. So there you go. So then I left Sarah and I drove. I think it took about 2.5 hours. Yeah, it took about 2.5 hours to drive from. She goes to school right outside Providence, Rhode Island, and I drove to Stockbridge, Massachusetts, to come stay with my friend Michelle and her husband Jerry. And then, so Saturday, we got up early in the morning. We left her house at 7 o'clock in the morning. We got to, she drove, we got to Rhinebeck, New York. It took us about an hour and a half to drive. And we got to Rhinebeck. We stood in line. We got to see people. Now, I am not going to say who I saw because I know I'm going to forget people and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But you know who you are, and thank you everybody for being so awesome. I got to see people while we were waiting in line. I saw people just randomly walking around. I did go to the podcaster meetup, and I got to be a fangirl and see some of the podcasters that I watch. So that was awesome. I posted all my pictures to Instagram if you want to go see them, and it was really fun. Saturday was really crowded. It was a beautiful day. It was about 60 degrees. So I think a lot of people came. It was just, it was so crowded that a lot of booths you couldn't even step into them. And some places were so crowded you couldn't even walk even in between booths. But despite that, we had a fantastic time. We loved looking at everything. Michelle was only going to go on Saturday. She was looking for some yarn to make like a little shell to go under a suit, and she couldn't find what she was looking for, but she did find, and I'm trying to find it, she found some fiber that I'm going to spin for her so she can knit it into a shell. So she found this fiber. Let's see if it says who it is. From the Sheep Shed, and they're in Lynnfield, Massachusetts, sheepshed.net. And she found this awesome, beautiful, gorgeous fiber for me. So when I get home, I'm going to spin it for her and send it back up so she can knit a shell. And this is 8 ounces of merino. So that's going to be so comfortable to wear. So that was her purchase. She has a lot of self-control, but she's been knitting for a long time and has a pretty extensive stash, so she wasn't tempted by very much. The only thing I bought on Saturday was a t-shirt because they had the booth there, and I was afraid they would sell out. So they actually have where you can pre-order them, but I didn't get to that in time, so I didn't get to pre-order. But I did buy a shirt, That's Rhinebeck 2013. It's got a ram on there. It's very wrinkled. It was $20 for the t-shirt, so it's like a dark charcoal. They had a blue one, but it wasn't a V-neck, and I like V-neck, and the blue was a color that I don't think looks good on me, so this will have to do. But I was happy. So that was the only thing I bought on Saturday, and I was like, this is wrong. So Sunday, I went back by myself. Um, I left. We went to Mass. I went to her parish for Mass. And then Sunday, I drove by myself up to, well, down south of here to Rhinebeck. And oh, and I forgot to show you Saturday at the podcaster meetup, Sam from the Knit Run Dig podcast gifted me with this beautiful project bag. And she even stitched on there, it says Rhinebeck 2013. So thank you, Sam. I love it. Love, love, love. And it's got a really pretty lining on the inside. Very fall. A very fall bag. So thank you, Sam. I love it so much. I will treasure it. So Sunday, I was like, okay, I cannot come to Rhinebeck and not buy stuff. So I had seen a few things on Saturday that I thought I might get on Sunday. So I will show you now what I got. So again, if you don't want to see the ridiculous amount. Now I bought less than some people because I've been on Instagram and I've been looking. I did buy a lot for me though. So I don't even know what the total is. I'll total it up when I get home. But anyway, I'm just going to show you things as I get to them. They are not in any particular order. Oh, before I do that though, one of the stores here in Rhode Island, in Massachusetts, is yarn stores is closing. So Michelle and I drove over there, and I got a couple of things. This trip I'm trying to buy stuff that I've never experienced before. So I've never knit with Noro sock yarn, and you won't be surprised by the colors. And it was really good prices. This was 50% off, and this was 70% off. So this is if you've never seen them, this is a sock blank by Flat Feet, and it's knit and then dyed, and then you just unravel it and knit directly from the sock blank, which is a really cool concept. So everything that I have bought on this trip, I am going to have to earn with my fitness. So I'm just going to get a box when I get home and put it all in there. And every how many 300,000 steps, every 300,000 steps, I get a prize, and I'll just pull something out of the box because, and these will be included in that. So that was what I got at the yarn store that is closing. And I'm sorry for the rattling. Oh, here's the brochure for the New York Sheep and Wool Festival. And there was a ridiculous amount of vendors. I'll briefly show you the pages that have the vendors on there. So the vendor list is all of these, all of these, all of these, and all of these. That's how many vendors were there. I know there's no way I saw everybody that was there. There's no way. I'm sure I missed a lot, but hey, I saw what I was supposed to see, right? Okay, so next, from the same lady that Michelle bought her stuff from, the sheep shed, I wanted to buy fiber that I have never spun before. So I didn't get any BFL, I didn't get any merino, anything like that, because I've spun those. I wanted to experience new things. That's what this trip was about. So I bought some Corriedale. I bought a half a pound of Corriedale, 8 ounces. It's a little bit deeper than what you're seeing there. That was really pretty. And I've never spun it, so before I do, though, I'll research, is it better to spin it one way or the other, blah, blah, blah. I bought a couple of bare things of fiber from this place called Little Barn, littlebarninc.com. So this is American Romney. It's 100% Romney wool. This is 8 ounces. So Romney is something I've never spun before. And I also have never spun Wensleydale. So this is Wensleydale combed top is what this is. Not that exciting to look at, but I'm pretty excited to spin it. I bought this cute little from Fresley Farm hand-dyed Icelandic fleece needle felting kit, but it's a kit to make a pumpkin. And here's the stuff that came in it, and it even comes with the needle felting tools. And I just thought that was adorable, so I will be trying this when I get home. I'm not going to make this a fitness reward. This is going to be something I can do when I first get home, because it's that time of year. From that same booth, I bought, this is the luxury item that I bought myself. I bought a fleece that is Icelandic wool. Not a fleece. Why did I say that? I bought some Icelandic wool, and it is gorgeous. I bought 4 ounces. And it's natural color. It's Icelandic wool and silk, and this is really wonderful and heavenly. It smells very sheepy. I wish you could feel it. It's awesome. So that was my luxury item because it was like, I think if I remember right, it was like $7 an ounce. That for me is expensive. I know for some people that would probably be cheap, but for me, that was a lot to spend. Another thing I bought is a little tiny nitty naughty to do little mini skeins. And this was actually the first thing I bought on Sunday because I don't have this. I need it. So I also bought, sorry for all the crinkling, I bought some from Pleasant Home Woolen Company. I bought some silk hankies. These are made from the little pods from silkworms. That's the scientific term, from silkworms. And I bought 2 ounces total of that, and they need to be dyed. And then you spin them directly. I mean, you knit or crochet them directly from here. And it's like, sort of like a biscuit has many layers. That's what these are. There are many, many layers of silk in here. So I am pretty excited about that because I've never had a chance to try that before. I also bought 3 things of yarn. Where's the, oh, there's the other one. Okay, so the first thing I bought was, this is Socks That Rock. This is the Rhinebeck colorway, and it's called Little Bo Peep. It's the Rhinebeck 2013 colorway. And I actually took the tag off to show it to Michelle open, so pretty. I like it. And I think I might have knit with Socks That Rock once, if I remember right. But I had to get it because it was this is my souvenir yarn because it's Rhinebeck colorway. And I also had to buy some yarn that had Angora in it because there were a lot of places that had Angora yarn. Let's see if these people gave me their card. This is from, nope, that's not what this is from. I don't think these people gave me their card. Let's see. I don't think they did, and I paid cash for it. But anyway, this is Angora. It's 10% Angora, 90% Merino. I do remember that. I took a picture of the sign so I would remember what it was. Pretty. I know you're surprised by the colors, right? It's really soft, though. That's a very good combination, Angora and Merino. And I believe it's a sport weight, but I could be wrong. Could be DK. Anyway, so that's some Angora. I wanted to get some Angora to spin, but I just never really saw any that was like what I wanted or whatever. So, and then another what I would consider to be a luxury item, and this I walked back to this booth 4 times to try and decide if I wanted this or not, and also I couldn't once I did decide I was going to buy it, I couldn't decide which colorway to get because they had many. I bought, this is from Fiber Optics. It is a bunch of mini skeins. There you go. And you knit them in order. And they had a shawl done out of this colorway, and that is one of the reasons I picked this. But I mean, they had many, many, many different colorways, and this I cannot wait to knit. It's going to be so fun to see the color changes. So it's instead of it being one long skein that's dyed gradient, it's a bunch of little skeins that are dyed gradient. And again, that's from Fiber Optic. I've never had a chance to try any of their stuff, so this was all new experiences. I think that is it for Rhinebeck. Let me look around, see if I forgot anything else. Uh, yeah, I think that's it for Rhinebeck. If I forgot anything, I'll show you whenever I find it. So that's enough, right? Actually, I didn't go too crazy, especially buying yarn, because I knew that I was going to be going to Webs, which I'll talk about coming up. Okay, so that was Sunday that I went, and let me tell you, 2 days of going to Rhinebeck, I was exhausted when I got back Sunday night. I mean, exhausted. Monday, um, as I mentioned before, we climbed Monument Mountain. I also visited the shrine that I was very excited to visit. About 3 miles down the road is the Divine Mercy Shrine, and if you've been watching a while, you probably know that Saint Faustina is my patron saint, and the Divine Mercy Shrine is built for a prayer devotion that she started. So I will show you a couple of pictures. This is the booklet that I got there. National Shrine of the Divine Mercy. It's in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. This is the booklet. They have them in the pews, and you use this. The Divine Mercy Chaplet is prayed every day at 3 o'clock. If you watch EWTN, which is a Catholic television station, they show the Divine Mercy Chaplet being prayed, and they filmed it here. So it was like, I'm seeing this place that I've seen a million times on TV, which is really cool. So that's what it looks like on the outside. And then here's a picture on the inside of what it looks like. It's very beautiful. Way prettier even than the picture could show. Very ornate. And then here's a postcard that I got that shows what it looks like. It's so gorgeous inside. So, so gorgeous. And then I also bought a picture of St. Faustina and then the Divine Mercy image. And I'm going to get a frame and put them like this next to each other. Because I do have a larger picture of her, and I also have a larger picture of this, but I want to have like a little tiny one right there. So, um, so I went to the shrine on Monday, and I didn't get there in time for Mass because we had climbed the mountain earlier, but I did get there by 3 so I could, because they had Mass at 2. So I got there by 3, and I was able to do the Divine Mercy Chaplet, and then I went to the bookstore, and I spent a little bit of money in the bookstore. Not as much as I thought I was going to, though. I actually came in way under, believe it or not, way under what I thought I would spend there because I thought I would just be like grabbing stuff and throwing it in the cart, but I was actually pretty good. Um, so that was Monday. Then Tuesday, the 22nd, which was yesterday, I drove to Northampton, I think that's how you say it, Massachusetts, and I went to Webb's Yard Store. Yay! And all the things you hear about it are true. It is unbelievable. Well, first of all, it's a big yarn store to start off with. It's a very big local yarn store. But also equally big in the back is a warehouse section where they have discounted yarns. So and deals and stuff like that. So all of my shopping was done in the warehouse part in the back because I went with the intention of buying. I knew I was going to buy at least 2 sweaters worth of yarn. Now, if you remember when I went to Stitches in April, that was the booth where I got 2 sweaters worth of yarn. So I went with the intention of buying at least 2, but I ended up getting 4. But before I show you those, I want to show you, I met up with a couple of viewers. I met up with Kathy and Pat. And they both are John fans. So there are some pictures online, like on my Facebook page and stuff like that, of them with John. And I will try to remember to go in and post them in the Ravelry group so you guys can see them. But they each gave me a little gift, which they didn't have to do, but they were nice and did. So Kathy gave me a Coke mug. I know, you're shocked. Coca-Cola. And she gave me an adorable card with a very sweet note inside. So thank you, Kathy. And Kathy's family was with her. She had her husband and son and daughter-in-law and their daughter. And they were all John fans, which is really cool. They wanted their picture taken with John. And then Pat gave me some stuff that she got from near where she lives, Mount St. Mary's Abbey Gift Shop. And they're evidently famous for their chocolate. And she gave me a chocolate lollipop, which fortunately John did not eat because I left him alone in the car with it. I can't wait to eat this. And she also gave me a really cool little coin with Pope Francis on it. And then here's the brochure. I think that my older daughter has visited this place because I know that they visited a place with some sisters, some nuns. You can see pictures of them there. So I'm pretty sure that Sarah visited this place. I'm going to have to ask her when I talk to her next time. So that is very cool. So thank you, Pat, for that. Love, love, love. And it was just so nice because I got to shop with them, hang around with them, and then we went to lunch. And it was just a very nice, enjoyable time. And just really, really, I've loved meeting all the people I've met on this trip. That's been the best part, honestly, has been meeting the people. So, so now I'm going to show you what I bought at Webb's. So I got 4 sweaters worth, but I actually really purchased 5 sweaters worth. I got a sweater's worth of yarn for my friend Michelle. So I'm going to show you what I got for her. She actually started her sweater last night. I got for her this bag of yarn, 10 balls of yarn for $25. That's crazy talk. So she already started her sweater. She's my knitting mentor. She's a fantastic knitter. This yarn is Tibet, and what is the makeup? I believe it's a bulky yarn, and it's 55% wool, 40% acrylic, and 5% viscose. And it's got little neps in it because she said she wanted something teal that was sort of rustic, and it's actually darker than what you're seeing. So this is her sweater that she's making. Let's see if I can find the actual pattern without messing up her system too badly. Okay, so this is the pattern that she's going to make. I think she's going to leave the snowflake off, though. This is what she's going to make. So I believe she has started here and is doing this bottom panel. And this is from Knitting International 2002 Winter. That's where this is from. And I've totally messed up her system here. She's going to kill me. Not really. Okay, so that's what I got for Michelle. And then for myself, I'll start with the one that I saw first that I liked. And I only bought about half of what I could have bought. Let's just put it that way, what I was tempted to buy. So first, I bought this yarn, which is a little bit darker than what you're seeing here. Yes, it's orange. This is Solstice. It is 70% organic cotton and 30% wool. And it's this gorgeous, a little bit darker than what you're seeing, darker and richer color than you're seeing there. There are 10 hanks of that. So that will be sweater number 1. I don't know which sweaters they're going to be, just whatever they turn out to be. And then I also got the second one I picked out. And I did pick up a lot of green, but I put it all back because you know me with green, lime green especially. This was my true treasure. This is 10 balls of baby alpaca DK. And let's see, does it say what the content is? I don't think it says. Yeah, I can't see it easily here what it is, but this is going to be gorgeous. It's sort of like a dark coral color. And I was like, why am I picking out all these like orangey colors? I think the fall leaves up here have hypnotized me or brainwashed me or something. And then I got another sweater's worth. And this is hot pink. And it's, yeah, pretty much what you're seeing there, but maybe darker. And this is it's Dolce Merino from Universal Yarn. It's gorgeous. So you'll see these all again when they turn into sweaters. And then lastly, I actually bought a pattern and the yarn to do it. And this is going to be for a crocheted sweater. And they actually had the sweater on display there, which is what made me fall in love with it. So you can see this is crocheted across, and this part is crocheted up and down vertically, these shells. And if you have their Webb's latest catalog, this is in there. So I bought the pattern and the yarn to do it. And this I'm using Valley Yarns, which is their own brand of yarn. Valley Yarns Huntington, and it's in this red color, and then the bottom part is going to be red, white, and blue. Very patriotic. I didn't even do that on purpose. So, 4 sweaters worth. And just to tell you, and I normally don't talk that much about money, but their prices are really, really good. And for all 5 sweaters and tax, it was $190 for 5 sweaters. That's what I think is incredible. I mean, and one of them is alpaca. That's just crazy. I mean, this is nice yarn. So this is at least, what, a year's worth of knitting for me. So for the lady who has always been scared of sweaters to buy that much sweater yarn, and I didn't buy any sock yarn at Webb's. Shocking, I know. So I'm looking around to see if I have forgotten anything. I think that is it. I just want to say, again, I can't express enough how nice everybody has been to me on this trip, and just nice and friendly and happy to see me, which I am not anybody like special or whatever. I am just me, and that anybody is excited to see me just really cracks me up. So, but I understand because there are podcasters that I was a fangirl over when I saw them at Rhinebeck. So I understand. But just, I'm just a normal average person. I am not anything to get that excited over. But everybody's been so nice, and I really, really appreciate that. And for everybody who has driven long distances to see me, I really appreciate it because I understand how hard that is. And I guess that's it. I just want to say that you guys are awesome. Even if you haven't been on this trip and you've been nice, I really do appreciate it. This podcast has been, oh, I don't want to cry. This podcast has been a real lifesaver for me. So, or sanity saver, if you want to say, because, I was an empty nester when I started the podcast. And of course, now my daughter has come back, but still, it's given me something to look forward to, something to do, and a way to meet fantastic people. So I just want to again say thank you. Words can't describe it. I'm going to try not to cry. I didn't expect this. So I have a little bit longer to go before I get home. I'm packing today, doing laundry, and then tomorrow I'll make the long, long drive from Stockbridge, Massachusetts to Washington, D.C. I'll be staying with Colleen in Washington. And then I will be meeting a viewer for brunch Sunday morning. And then I'll get on the train Sunday afternoon and be home Monday. So, less than a week I'll be home back in my own bed with my crazy family, my handsome dog who I miss so much. And I've just really, this has been such a great trip. I've been so fortunate with the weather cooperating. And it's actually here, there's a chance of snow this weekend, so I'm leaving like just in time to not have to endure the snow because I don't like cold weather. And I guess that's about it that I want to say. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for being so wonderful. And all my stuff online, I have not really had the time to go online. So the Ravelry group, I've gotten behind on that. I've gotten behind on my messages, but I'll catch up when I get home. I'll take a few days to decompress when I get home and catch up. So that's it. I hope you have a great week. Keep on crafting. Bye.